Hey, this is Triya, and today in this video, I'm going to talk about a book that I just have read. And this is V.S. Naipaul's India, A Wounded Civilization. But I actually bought this book 2 years ago from Bouquet Santa, and at that point of time, I had no idea that this book belongs to a series called India Trilogy by this author. So, V.S. Naipaul is a diasporic writer, and if you're familiar with diasporic literature, you definitely know that diaspora means a group of people who are spread across the globe, spread around the globe, and are currently living away from their motherland or the place of their origin. And as we know that before independence, a lot of people, a lot of Indian were forced to leave India, or a lot of people willingly migrated from India to, in search of better career or in search of better works because of the unemployment problem that they used to face in India. So, V.S. Naipaul's family also migrated from India at that point of time so as to pursue a better career, or they were probably forced by the Britishers to be used as free laborers in the as we know about the apartheid culture of South Africa, and we also know about the fact that Gandhiji fought against the tortures that they used to face there by the colonizers. So I'm not going to talk about this in detail, but rather let's get into the review. So before getting into the actual review, I'd love to share one thing, that there is a line in this book that has been used several times in the first portion of this book, that India will go on. And this line, this was said by R.K. Narayan to V.S. Naipaul when they met in London. So, as V.S. Naipaul was born and brought up in Trinidad, much away from the country, and he has lost his connection to India. He had no idea, he had no clear picture of this land, but he had read several books on this history, on the glorious history of this country, and had also heard a lot of stories from his grandparents and all his predecessors about this country. But there is a striking difference between what he heard or read and what he saw after coming in this country as a visitor. So he came here in 1962 for the first time, and in the second time when he came here, it was 1975, and at that point of time, emergency was declared during the Indira Gandhi reign. So in this book, we can also find a vivid description of the experiences that he had, or that and the several happenings that happened when he was here in India as a visitor. And he lived with a lot of Indian people, or he lived in a lot of Indian households and saw the Indian culture in his own eyes. At that point of time only, he witnessed India through his own eyes. So this book talks about the wounded civilization that India is. Probably because of the fact that India has gone through a lot of significant changes, and India has suffered a lot of blows, or any striking blows by the different foreign rulers. As we know that probably among the 196 country in the world, India is the only one that has gone through such rapid and significant changes. He's also talked about several Indian authors like R.K. Narayan and his works like Mr. Sampath, and another work that I can't remember now, and also about Vijay Tendulkar and his approach to see India by going in different parts of India. And it was a striking thing that even an Indian cannot know what India actually is, because of the vastness, because of the vast cultural distinctions that India still has. And about U.R. Anandmurthy, and about a lot of other person also in this book. And he has some other point of time used some of the articles, published by Indian Express, about the problems, the modern problems that India is still facing. And as well, one thing I have to say that this book was published in 1976, just after the emergency of 1975 during the reign of, as I also said before, Indira Gandhi. And uh, as we know that it was about 50 years ago, it was published about 50 years ago. India has moved farther from what it was actually at the point of time, but we cannot still deny the fact that India is still facing a lot of problems. Unemployment has not still been eradicated here. I mean, eradicated from India, and child labor, forced labor, child marriage, these things are still visible in India. And most importantly, the cultural distinctions, I mean, the cultural differences, and the communal riots and the communal aggressions, are all these things are still witnessed by Indians. So if I actually want to review this book, I have a lot of things to say, but it will take a lot of time that I can't do. So I have to stop here. I just wanted to make a short review video on this book, and short and fast review video on this book, because I really loved the fact that even today, after 50 years of publication of this book, an Indian, can still relate to the fact that India is still wounded and it has a lot of things to do still to get, healed from all the wounds that has been made by the several different foreign rulers and also by the Indian rulers after the independence.